Hello, welcome to Prime Business. My name is Emma Davis. Let's look at our stories for tonight. Tullow Oil PLC and its joint venture partners intend to take a drilling break in Ghana later in 2024 while it sustains existing production at Jubilee and 10. Drilling is, however, expected to resume in 2025 and the procurement process for a new rig commences in 2024. Here's more. The company revealed its statement in advance of the group's 2023 full-year results, scheduled to be announced on March 6th, that 5 Jubilee wells are expected to come on stream in 2024. This will conclude the activity planned at the start of the drilling program, approximately 6 months ahead of schedule, with excellent drilling performance. Commenting, Rahul Dar, Chief Executive Officer of Tullow, said continued delivery of its business plan in 2023 resulted in a major inflection point as it moved from a period of investment focus to delivery of free cash flow growth. It is, however, on track to deliver $600 million free cash flow over the next 2 years to achieve its stated target. On the outlook, the firm intends to produce between 62,000 and 68,000 cubic feet of gas. Meanwhile, energy strategist and CEO of Eureka Energy, Dr. Yusuf Sulemana, is projecting additional $30 million cash flow for Tullow Oil PLC under the initial gas commercialization agreement Tullow announced in 2019 alongside its joint venture partners that it had agreed on amendments to the interim gas sales agreement. According to Dr. Sulemana, the agreements going forward will ensure the proper distribution of gas and generate revenue for government as well.
It's a huge for both parties. I'm saying that because our understanding is that it's going to deliver an additional cash flow of about $30 million, to Tullow. And then on the other part of on our part, Ghana for sure, we have something called foundation gas that had gotten finished, where Tullow was delivering gas to Ghana for free. Now that gas is finished, it has to be commercialized. So the fact that we have an agreement, an interim agreement that will deliver some cash flow to our NOC, I think that's a good thing. On the other side, technically, Emma, is very crucial because if you have your reservoir and it's saturated with gas and you don't have opportunity to displace the gas, it's going to impact your oil production. And we had that 2019. So I'm pleased that some agreement is coming. And the other positive thing is that Ghana needs a lot of gas. You understand our power situation in Ghana. We need gas, more gas within the stream. And so the fact that we have potential, we can have multiple gas streams coming to the stream to show up our power generation, I think it's a win-win situation for both Ghana and then the IOC. And then the fact that it's going to add more revenue to Tullow. Remember, any revenue that is added to Tullow, it will increase the amount of tax they are going to pay at the end of the day to the government of Ghana. So all in all, if you look at it from both sides, I think it's a positive development for the host nation Ghana and then for the IOC Tullow in this case, and as well as the partners.
The Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, is appealing to the public to develop interest in the management of petroleum resources in the country. According to the committee, this will help in finding a lasting solution to the anticipated resource curse with many oil-producing countries are experiencing. Speaking at the launch of the citizens' version of PIAC reports in Accra, chairperson of the committee, Professor Elizabeth Shandorf, urged members of the public to study its report and ask critical questions. Here's more.
The citizens' version is part of efforts to provide citizens with relevant information on how petroleum revenues have been managed and utilized in a simplified manner. The citizens' version is very comprehensive and provides all the information captured in PIAC's statutory reports using infographics. Chairperson of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, Professor Elizabeth Adifio Shandorf, urged citizens to take critical interest in discussions concerning the management of Ghana's petroleum resources.
The media, the citizens, any person of interest can download the information from the site. So I will encourage you all, the media and the distinguished ladies and gentlemen who are here, to visit PIAC website to study more about the management and use of petroleum resources, and then critique it, ask questions, start dialogue, which others will also join. And if you have any issues or questions to PIAC, you can also post it there, and we can get the dialogue going.
Former chairman of PIAC, Dr. Steve Mantell, applauded the efforts of the committee in developing the report, but asked for further analysis on key issues to give a better understanding of the sector.
That the committee could do us a bit more favor going forward by providing a bit more context in terms of what the data disclosed in this report. This report means. For instance, you observe from the report that from 2019 to 2022, petroleum production has been on decline. What this means, not many of us can tell, but it could be that from 2019 to 2022, it could be the result of COVID-19 pandemic and its disruption to global supply chains, which affected oil production. But it could also be as a result of energy transition and the lack of investments globally into fossil fuel projects.
The launch of the Citizens Report is to promote transparency and accountability in the industry.
Away from the petroleum sector, the Economist Intelligence Unit is warning Ghana that its official creditor committee could reject debt restructuring terms by private creditors. According to the UK-based firm, the situation could be similar to what Zambia encountered, which delayed its agreement with private creditors and consequently affected its debt restructuring program. Ghana is hoping to reach a debt restructuring deal with its commercial creditors by the middle of this year. Benedict Craving is a principal economist for Middle East and North Africa and says Ghana must be tactful in its approach.
One of the things that will probably set a nice precedent is there's a broad agreement about who gets classified as an official versus a commercial creditor. But one of the issues that's cropped up in the G20 Common Framework is that even if you get a deal among those official creditors who get classified as official creditors, there's no guarantee that there'll be a comparability of treatment that's acceptable to private creditors and vice versa. So in Zambia's case, private creditors have come up with a deal and that's been rejected by official creditors. The two aren't in the same room, they're not talking in the same committees, and it's issues like these that really need ironing out in the G20 Common Framework. And that's going to be a slow process every time creditors are confronted with a different debt pile from a different sovereign.
Now, political risk analyst and economist Dr. Theo Champong is of the view that the IMF's alert to Ghana to stick to program guidelines is a subtle way of drawing government's attention to fiscal slippages in an election year. He argued that the IMF may be guided by previous situations where Ghana experienced budget overruns in election years due to pressures. Addressing the press in Washington, D.C. yesterday, the director of African Regional Department at the IMF, Abebe Selassie, said it is really important for Ghana to implement the program fully. Dr. Champon said a lot must be done to prevent the country from missing key targets.
It's largely on account of the fact that, especially in election years, we've seen major slippages in the country, both on the fiscal front, on the monetary front, and in fact, in our last program that we entered into in 2016, and that was also an election year, we could not meet a number of the benchmarks, and therefore we had to even extend the program by another year and some months until 2019. So the caution from the IMF African Director is really to the point that we have seen historically some of these slippages even under an IMF program, especially with the pressure that comes with the election and then the temptation to overspend. We went to the IMF with a program, and the program that we sent to under the PCPEG, the post-COVID program for economic recovery, had a number of things that we said we were going to do on the revenue side and then also on the expenditure side. Nobody disputes the fact that you've got to raise the revenue threshold from about 13 to about 18 or so % of GDP as compared to our peers. The challenge has to be, where are you going to bring those monies from? And the proposal, particularly with the VAT on electricity, suffers from two issues. The key one being really the timing of that tax introduction. Given again, you've got an election year, but you also have a lot of households that have been struggling for the last 2 years with cost of living and inflation, and given again that, if you look at the household consumption expenditure, aside food and transport and others, bills or electricity bills are one of the big aspects of it. Then you begin to see why there's a bit of a pushback from citizens and then from labor for the government to at least temporarily scrap or to hold onto that tax, for now, because it could actually further fuel or drive, the inflation that we have been seeing starting to come down in the last couple of months.
The Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation says it is introducing a legislation for an extended producer responsibility scheme to guide the production of recyclable plastics in the country. According to the Sector Minister, Dr. Kwekwe Friye, the legislation will compel industries to produce plastics that are recyclable to ensure the sustainability of the environment. He spoke at a media launch by Guinness Ghana Limited to introduce its new clear plastic bottles.
Ghana's leading beverage business, Guinness Ghana, has announced it has moved the refreshing and vitamin-boosted malt drink Malta Guinness from a brown plastic bottle to a clear bottle. The company also indicated that its non-alcoholic drink Alvaro is moving from a green plastic bottle to a clear plastic bottle. Speaking at the launch, the Minister of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Kwekwe Friye, commended Guinness Ghana for leading the charge towards a more sustainable environment, adding that government is introducing a legislation to compel other companies to use recyclable plastic.
MESTI is drafting a legislation for extended producer responsibility schemes. Yeah, this is part of it. But we are saying that this will compel companies that introduce plastic packaging products into our market to assume responsibility for the collection and recycling of the plastic waste. Guinness should not be troubled. You are in hand in gloves with MESTI. It's not good to go and then pass legislation for fanfare and enforcement and be running down industries. No, we will take our time, but at its time, we will make sure that industry complies. In addition to the efforts as member of Guinness Ghana Breweries has taken significant steps to manage one of our pillars, and one of their pillars is their 10-year global program to help create a more inclusive, sustainable world. And this is their Society 2030 Spirit of Progress project, which is aimed at tackling plastic waste and pollution.
Corporate Relations Director of Guinness Ghana, Sylvia Owusu Ankuma, said the move is to help ensure a sustainable environment and also promote local producers of the raw materials used in the production of plastics.
The main difference is that Malta Guinness from a brown bottle is now packaged in a clear bottle. Same for Alvaro, which was in a green bottle, is now being packaged in a clear bottle. At Guinness Ghana, one of our key strategies is also to ensure local sourcing, and as part of transitioning our packages to recyclable materials, we have worked with local companies to ensure that we can source our plastic pellets locally. So we're doing that through local sourcing, using companies based here in Ghana who are recycling plastic for use for manufacturers.
The company also indicated that the change in the plastic bottles will not affect the content of the product and its prices.
The limited market reach of local businesses slows their growth and sometimes leads to business collapse. However, emerging technology and digitalization in cooperation offer new opportunities for businesses to stay competitive and sustainable. Chief Executive Officer of Astorlinks Limited is therefore entreating local small and medium enterprises to digitize their operations for increased market share and global competitiveness. Here's more.
Traditional methods of managing a business can hinder their survival in the rapidly changing market dynamics. Customer engagement, marketing strategy, record keeping are among efficient means of operating in the digital age. Chief Executive Officer of Astorlink International, Richard Asumin, is encouraging investment in digital systems for sustainable operations.
At the moment, I can say that as the world has transformed, I want to encourage small and medium enterprises, local businesses, to all embrace this technological advancement and employ it. And because as a company based in Ghana, small company based in Ghana, ever since we started tapping into this golden technological advancement, we have become relevant so far as our market share is concerned and been able to compete globally. So I'm encouraging Ghanaian businesses, owners of businesses should bring in experts, especially growth consultants, help them develop their digital strategies. Like a lot of people still believe that they should focus on traditional media, and they have not understood. So I also want to take the opportunity to say that people who are well versed in digital transformation should be able to come out and begin to share information on various platforms so that small and medium enterprises will be able to engage them.
Mr. Sumin spoke at the staff retreat of Astorlink International on the theme Year of Growth and Innovation. The event assembled experts to educate and equip staff on work principles including counseling, general sales training and growth of the business.
We are not done yet, and I'm very optimistic that by the time we are done, we would have achieved it and our staff will be well informed so that they will go out and implement the various strategies we have implemented today.
Gad Okran is a director of growth and innovation at Astorlink International.
To that effect, as a company that started from Kumasi as a small entity, now we have the state-of-the-art office at the Kumasi Mall, state-of-the-art office at this Legon in Accra, in Tekrade in the UK, and especially for our office at the Kumasi Mall, we are also pioneering the foremost digital hub, which currently is at a pilot stage where we have younger people from KNUST and fresh graduate that we are grooming and training in various digital skills, from data analytics to artificial intelligence to growth marketing, etc.
Reporting for JoyNews, my name is Clinton Yabua.
As part of measures to boost tourism within the sub-region, Kenyan ambassador to Ghana, Eliphas Bahrain, is calling on member countries to expand investments within the sector. Mr. Bahrain said African countries must diversify the economies to rake in more revenue domestically. He spoke to Joy Business at an event organized by the Kenya Tourism Board to expand its market to West Africa.
Kenya is targeting to raise tourist arrivals from West Africa by pitching for business and leisure travel that are key interests to the region. The Kenya Tourism Board says that the West African market is integral in the strategy to diversify tourist source markets and broaden the country's destination portfolio. Ambassador Eliphas Bahrain says it is key for more countries to collaborate.
That tourism plays a very critical role in our economic development. It makes a huge contribution in our own economy. Is the second highest in GDP and also foreign exchange earner. And therefore, we have a lot of people that are reaching out, traveling and spending money. So we need to find ways to attract more people to come. And the only way to do that, first of all, is begin to diversify our products. Second, in my mind, is we need to improve on the product that we have. Thirdly, it is the customer experience, so that when we are providing this service, it is up to global standards. There are no African standards, there are no other standards. Standards are standards. And all of us need to embrace that in order to create that experience, we have to up our game, improve on our skills, so that when a visitor comes, a tourist visit, there is value for money.
The road shows to West Africa come as KTB intensifies marketing efforts across the continent, which is emerging as an important source market for Kenya's tourism.
Before we go, the Ghana Mine Workers Union is threatening to take over the operations of Future Global Resources as its last option if all necessary moves to get a new investor to manage the mining operations in Prestea Bogoso fails. According to the union, the current management has been incompetent and lacks the financial capability to continue the mining operations, a situation that is likely to affect the livelihoods of more than 2,000 workers. The union is therefore cautioning the government to take over the mines for different investors who are capable of reviving its operations or face the wrath of workers. There is more in this report.
But we must also caution that the decision by Future Global Resources, through some board members of the Minerals Commission, to do everything possible to ensure they hold on to the mining lease and rather put the mine under care and maintenance is also untenable and unacceptable. And for that matter, as a union, any decision to put the mine under care and maintenance under the watch of the government by Blue Holdings is the most difficult decisions that anybody can ever make. And so our demand is that certainly not Future Global Resources must be allowed to put this mine under care and maintenance, when in fact there are potential investors who are ready to invest money into the mine and in fact to develop the mine into a world-class one. And so any attempt to put the mine under care and maintenance, I can assure you workers and the union will resist it vehemently. And if they are not minded of the caution or the advice we're giving now, then maybe the last option will be that we will take over the mine. Workers will take over the mine, whether legal or illegal, we will take over the mine and ensure that we manage the mine henceforth. And so this is our position on the matter.
That'll be all for tonight on Prime Business. My name is Emma Davis. For more business news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. I leave you with international business, after which is Prime Sports with Razak Misbah. Have a good evening.